Muse for you, awesome websites without code.
Hey, what's up Musers? John with Muse for You, here to help you build awesome websites without code. And in today's video tutorial, I'm going to go over the audio visualizer set found at museforyoushop.com. So this is a widget that consists of 5 different audio visualizers. So I'll quickly showcase the different audio visualizers, and then I'll showcase how to use in Adobe Muse. So this is the first one here. So I'll just hit the play button right over here. And as we can see on mouse over, the audio visualizer either expands or contracts. So it looks really nice there. And then when the music kicks in, it responds to the bass, the mids, and the treble of the audio track, and the different lines and the different designs will change according to the audio track. And you can change the color for the bass, the mids, and the treble. And you can also change the stroke width for each of those different frequencies. All right, looks good. So that's the first one. We'll go to the second one, which is demo 2. So this one is kind of more of a circular shape, but it looks really interesting. Yeah, it's like, you know, we have the different colors, and the user can hover over the audio visualizer, and it just has a really great effect. All right, we'll move on to demo 3. I really like this one. It just has dots and lines, and when you mouse over the audio visualizer, the lines will either get longer or shorter. All right, so it can add a really nice visual effect for your website. Then we have demo 4. This one's really interesting. It has lines and blocks. So it just makes for a really interesting visual for the website. And you can add a play and pause button. So here when I pause, we can see the audio visualizer pauses, and the user can still mouse over and change how it looks. Or they can click the play button and it will continue. Then we have demo 5. This one I really like. Has a few triangles and kind of a mesh there in the background. So again, the user can interact with the audio visualizer, and it's just a really nice effect for your website. I can pause it and it looks good, and I can play it. All right, perfect. So that's the audio visualizer set. There's 5 different audio visualizers. I'll go ahead back to the shop and I'll read the features included, and then I'll showcase how to use in Adobe Muse. I've also created a sample site with the particles.js widget, which looks really interesting as well, and I'll showcase that after I read the features included. So you can add an MP3 file for the audio. You can place the audio visualizer above the page. You can have the audio visualizer fixed in the browser. You can add a play and pause button. You can have the audio muted initially. You can add a background image for browsers that do not support an audio visualizer, so mostly Internet Explorer. You can set the background color for the audio visualizer. You can set the stroke weight for the bass, mids, and treble. You can change the colors for the bass, mids, and treble. It plays on tap on tablet and mobile devices, and you can disable the audio visualizer at a specific breakpoint. So here we have a few of the widget options and the community section if you had any questions about the widget. Yeah, so the community section is right here, and the video will be placed right below here as well. All right, and then we have the preview page, which I just went over. All right, so I'll quickly showcase how to use in Adobe Muse. This widget can be accessed at museforyoushop.com. Here you can click subscribe today, or here you can click subscribe now to get access to all widgets and templates I come out with for $39 a year. Here's the audio visualizer. Here you can click add to cart to purchase individually, or again you can click subscribe to get access to all widgets and templates I come out with for $39 a year. All right, so I'll quickly showcase in Adobe Muse. This is the sample site I've created, so I'll quickly preview. So here I've used it in combination with the particles.js widget. So we have the particles and the audio visualizer. I'm also using the browser centering widget to add this text in the center. And when you scroll down, we see we have this text here. So I can either have the audio visualizer fixed in the browser or above the browser, and I can have it scroll with the rest of the browser if I'd like within the widget options. All right, so I'll quickly showcase. I'll recreate this in Muse. So let me go back in here, and here I have a blank site in Adobe Muse. So the first thing I'm going to do is set the background fill for the website. So I'm just going to go here to browser fill and just make it a bit darker. And I'm doing this because I'm going to add content below the audio visualizer, and I want it to match the background of the audio visualizer. So after I've set the background, I'm going to go to the library panel here to the right. And if you don't see the library panel, you can go to Window and click on Library. All right, so I'll open up the library panel, and here I'll type in Audio Visualizer. All right, so here we have the audio visualizer set. We have audio visualizer 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. I'm going to go ahead and bring in 5 because that's the example that I showed in the first site. So I'll bring it right in there. And here are the widget options. So for the position, we can have it above the page or fixed in the browser, or we could do both. And we can select an audio file. Here we can set the play and pause button. If this is enabled, you will want to have an element with the graphic style that's here, which is play. Otherwise, the audio won't play. And then you can set the background image, the initial background image. And then here we have the base. So you can set the stroke weight and base color. And the same for the mids and the treble. And you can disable it when the breakpoint is less than a specific breakpoint. If you leave this value at 0, then it will show across all breakpoints. Okay, so I'll quickly add an audio file. So here in the audio section, I'll select an audio file. So I'll click Add File. And here I have a few tracks. So I'll just select that. And it is an MP3 here. And just like that, we have an audio visualizer. So I just go to File, right up here, and Preview Page in Browser. So I'll go ahead and preview. And just like that, we have an audio visualizer. Looks good. All right, so I do have it set to be above the page. So if I were to add content, so for example, let me just copy these 2 paragraphs. So I'll copy from here and I'll paste. So here I have this content. Okay, so if I go ahead and preview in the browser, we can see the audio visualizer, and if I scroll down, we have the content below. All right, looks good. So let's say I had it fixed. I could just select fixed in browser, and then the content would appear, it'll still appear below the site because I do have above page selected, but the audio visualizer will stay in place and won't scroll. So here you can see the content scrolls up, but the audio visualizer stays in place there. I could just have it fixed in the browser. So I'll open it and uncheck above page, and then we'll just have the text above the audio visualizer. All right, just like that. Looks good. So I do recommend adding an initial background image. So if I click Add File, within the widget folder, there's a few preset images, and these are just good. So initially, while the audio loads, the user is not seeing like a blank site. They see the image, and then the audio visualizer will kick in. And this is also great for Internet Explorer because Internet Explorer doesn't support audio visualizers, so the image will just show instead. So if I go ahead and preview, it's going to play here automatically because it does support it, but on browsers that don't, you'll see the initial image. All right, looks good. So let me set it up here. I'm going to set it above the page, and I'm going to uncheck fixed in browser because I want the content below. All right, looks good. So if you notice, we saw that initial image just for a split second, and then the audio visualizer kicked in. All right, and then we have the content below. All right, so I'll go ahead and add the particles.js widget just for some more animation and a cool effect. So I'll type in particles.js in the library panel, and I'll bring in the particles.js widget full screen. So here I'll click, hold, and drag, place into Adobe Muse, and I'll go to the particles, and I'll just pick colors that are similar to the audio visualizer. Okay, just for an interesting effect. And here for the z-index property, I'm going to set it to 1 so it appears above the audio visualizer. So I just put in a 1 there, and I'll go ahead and preview. And there we have the particles, and we have the audio visualizer. Looks good. And we can scroll down, and perfect. So you can really have a lot of fun with this. You can have it fixed in the browser above the page. Here we have the enable play and pause button. So here, if I click on enable play and pause, I can just create an element. And just as an example, I'll show you if that's selected and there's no play and pause button, it's not going to play. So you do want to create an element, and I'll just fill it in with a color. And I want to apply the graphic style name. So here we have the graphic styles panel. And if you don't see the graphic styles panel, you can go to window and click on graphic styles. All right, so here I'll create a new graphic style with the element selected. I'll click on this icon. It looks like a piece of paper with a folded corner in the left-hand corner. And I'll double click on style. And I'll rename this to play because that is the graphic style that is in the widget here. Okay. And I'll also pin it to the upper left so it stays fixed in the browser, and I'll preview, and there it plays, and then I click and it pauses. All right. And if I go ahead and here I can say paused initially, so that it's paused initially, and then I can play it. So there it's paused, and if I click, it plays. All right, looks good. So I'll just have a bit of fun with the colors. I'll just select some random colors and change the stroke width for the different sections. So I'm just entering random values, and then I'll just do some random colors just to showcase, changing the colors for the audio visualizer. Okay, and I can resize the widget here and bring this up. I'll go ahead and preview, and there we can see we have the audio visualizer. Doesn't look great. Thinner lines obviously looks better, but I just wanted to show a quick example. It's really customizable, and you can change the colors, the stroke weight, and everything like that. All right, so I'll quickly showcase the other 4 really quick. I think I've gone over all the widget options. You can disable it at a specific breakpoint. So if I were to say something like 480 here, once the browser is less than 480, the audio visualizer won't play. So here I'll resize and I'll refresh, and we can see there's no audio visualizer because the website is less than 480 less than 480 in width. So we've disabled it at the 480 breakpoint. But if I resize just like that and I click refresh, we can see the audio visualizer. It looks a little bit too clunky now because the stroke is really high and the colors don't look great, but we'll move on to the other ones just to kind of redeem myself for that weird those weird strokes and colors. So here I'll just say audio visualizer, and let's start with number 1. So I'll just bring in number 1, and we'll put it right there, and I'll preview. And oh, I didn't add an audio file. Let's go ahead and add the audio, and I'll select this one here. Go ahead and preview. So that's the other one. I'm gonna go ahead and hide the particles.js widget as well. I just thought it was kind of a cool effect, but we don't really need it because there's already a lot going on with the audio visualizer. All right. And I think this is a good time to showcase the browser centering as well. Let's say we wanted some text in the center. Here, let me just bring this down a bit. I'll just create another text, and I'll say, or actually I can just copy and paste this one here. So I'll just paste it, and there we go. Align it to the center, and it should have the graphic style name center 1 already applied to it. Yeah, so I've already applied the graphic style name center 1. So here I'll go to the library panel, and I'll type in browser centering, and here we have the browser centering widget. So here I'll click, hold, and drag, place into Adobe Muse, and that's it. So the graphic style name here is center 1, and we've already applied it to this element because I copied from the other website, and I already applied the graphic style name center 1. So I'll go ahead and preview, and there we go. We have the text in the center. I scroll up, we have the content below. Perfect. So I'll do 2, 3, and 4, and then that should be it. So let's do audio visualizer. We'll do number 2, so I'll click, hold, and drag, place right in there. I'll add the audio, and I'll preview, and there's number 2. All right, and then we'll do number 3. Oh, gotta add the audio file. Okay, yep, I really like this one. All right, and I can enable the play and pause button. And because we have the play button here with the graphic style name play, I can click to pause and play. All right, and then the next one is number 4. So I'll add that one, add the audio, and that's it. And we can change the background here in the background section. We can change the background color. So I can select a different color, and it'll change the background color of the audio visualizer. All right, so it's really customizable. You can change all the colors, the stroke weight, the colors of the different frequencies, and everything like that to really match the theme of your website. So again, we have the bass. You can change the stroke weight, the bass color. We have the mids. You can change the stroke weight, the mids colors, the treble, the stroke weight, and the treble color. All right, and we have the breakpoint here as well. All right, so that's basically it. You can set it above the page, fixed in the browser. You can select an audio file, enable a play pause button, set the initial background image, and you can set the background color, and you can work with the bass, mids, and treble, and disable it at a specific breakpoint. So that's it for the audio visualizer. I'll just end it with audio visualizer number 5, and that should do it. So here, I'll just add the audio, and we'll place that right in there. And I'm not gonna have a play and pause button, so I'll preview. And there we go. We have the audio visualizer set. All right, looks good. So that's it for this video tutorial. To get access to the audio visualizer set, you can go to museforYouShop.com, and here you can click subscribe today, and here you can click subscribe now to get access to all widgets and templates I come out with for $39 a year. Here we have the audio visualizer set, and again, you can click add to cart to purchase individually, or again, you can click subscribe to get access to all widgets and templates I come out with for $39 a year. Here's the preview page with the different audio visualizers and a few of the widget options, the features included, the community section if you had any questions about the widget and the different audio visualizers, and this video will be right here as well, so you can watch it right here from the widget page. All right, so that's it for this video tutorial. Again, I do this to help you build awesome websites without code. If you like this video tutorial, you can subscribe below. Also in the show more section below are links to other resources and links to museforYouShop.com. So again, thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next video tutorial. Thank you.
Muse for You, awesome websites without code.